Hi, I'm Amy Smith, and I'm going to share with you today our graphic novels from Usborne Books and More. And these graphic classics and legends are just perfect for your child who either they love reading or they don't think they love reading. These books, I can almost promise you, will get your child excited about reading. My son, he just eats these up, and he is, I would call a reluctant reader. He's not one that just charged right ahead. No matter how you parent a child, your child is going to be different, and they're going to grow at their own pace, and that is good and that is okay. But these graphic classics and legends really have just pushed his reading over the edge. He adores and loves these. So two that we just came out with are Alice in Wonderland and Hamlet. So the Alice in Wonderland is really exciting because this is the first female protagonist we have in one of these books. So let me show you some of the beautiful illustrations in these books from Usborne Publishing. You follow her amazing adventure in this timeless fantasy. You can see the smaller size chunks of text alongside the illustrations really helps those reluctant readers. Again, children can also read this without being a confident reader or reader at all because they're going to follow along with the story. So that is Alice in Wonderland. We have Hamlet, which is our first Shakespeare book. And of course, there's more mature content in this one with Hamlet's the Prince of Denmark, whose father is killed, and of course, so it's kind of a gruely text, but it's nice to introduce your child to the world of Shakespeare in this way, to be or not to be. And so they simplify the text and they make one of Shakespeare's most famous plays really accessible in this really richly illustrated book. So that's Hamlet. We also just a couple months ago came out with Jason and the Argonauts, which is wonderful Greek, a Greek legend adapted in this action-packed adventure. And again, it's going to have some more mature content in there, but great for those kiddos that love some adventure. We have Thor, which is a Norse myth's tale about the famous warrior of Norse myths. And he's traveling from his home of Asgard to the realm beyond. If you're familiar with Thor, the movies, this is going to be a little bit different. But some of the same characters are going to show up, so that's fun too. We have some more legends, classics, Robin Hood and King Arthur. Robin Hood, of course, in the early 1100s during the medieval time. So if you're doing a medieval time period with your child, whether you're homeschooling or your child is learning at school, this is a great supplement. We have loved these stories. These two have been our favorites, and my son reads them over and over. King Arthur as well is during about the same time period. So the brave knights of the Round Table, along with King Arthur, fight many battles to keep the kingdom intact. The Three Musketeers is another graphic classic. This takes place in Paris 1626, if you didn't know, but it shortens the text, makes the story more accessible. The story of Porthos, Athos, and Aramis, who are the Three Musketeers. We have Dracula, who, this one is a little creepy. It's a little terrifying, the suspense and this blood-curdling graphics. So again, as you can see this wolf there, it's not for the faint of heart, but kids love these kinds of stories, and it's great to introduce them to the classics. Another one that's not for the faint of heart is The Hound of the Baskervilles, a Sherlock Holmes book. It's fun to see this perspective from the actual novel of Holmes' most famous case. If you're not familiar with his the actual books and not just, you know, the legends or the movies that have been made on him, this really brings Watson and Holmes to life in this book. And lastly, another great tale, the Odyssey. I just love that kids can start learning about these amazing stories that really have shaped our culture and our times, and they can learn about them in such a fun way. Whoop, and there's a bookmark that I just lost. So I hope that you'll pick up one of these books today. They're $9.99, and boy are they worth it because they're going to be read over and over again.